Hey there fellows, Buddy's Bike here. I am super excited to show you the review of this aircraft. This is Daimond DA20 C-1 Eclipse. This is the exact same aircraft I've been flying for the past year and a half. I have over 120 hours on this beautiful beast, and I know this aircraft inside out. And finally, a company called SimSolutions developed this aircraft. In this video, I'm gonna review this aircraft, and I'm gonna categorize the review into three parts. One will be flight mechanics, sound, and 3D model. I'm gonna rate this aircraft from 1 to 10 in each of these three categories, and then see the average. I'm not gonna hold back on this review because I fly this aircraft, and if there is something that does not match to the real deal, I will not be happy, and I'm gonna let you guys know if it is actually worth it to buy this aircraft. I'm super excited for this. I'll see you after the intro. So the first thing I want to talk about is the 3D model, and right off the bat, the 3D model, I was very impressed with it. I've seen this aircraft, I've done inspection of this aircraft probably 100 times, and it looks exactly the same. Even the pitot cover is exactly the same. It is funny. I mean this one right here, it is just how you see in the simulator. The chocks are different. They are not exactly the same. These ones are like very small. The ones we use are a little bigger, yellow color, but of course it doesn't really matter that much. The propeller is also very same. The paint on the propeller and the markings, they're quite similar. The exhaust, the wheel design, the wings, everything, it feels very similar. Rest of the exterior design is one to one. Let's go towards the inside. On the inside, we have a very similar story. If you would have seen the real life flying footage on my YouTube channel, you could see that the interior is very similar to the real one. The direction indicator is now changed in the aircraft that I fly, but the previous one was the same as this one. All the gauges, the engine gauges, they look very similar. The color grading, the design, it is absolutely amazing how similar it looks. At the back, also, it is very similar. We have a net to protect anything falling towards the front. That's the only thing missing. But other than that, everything is same. The side carpet design that you see, this gray color, it is very similar. The seats have a little bit of fur design to it. That is not replicated, but I think it is a limitation of the simulator. Maybe that's why. Other than that, everything looks very beautiful, very high quality, and very, once again, similar. So for the 3D model of this aircraft, I can easily say it's 9 out of 10. It is quite good actually. It is very impressive, the work that is done on the 3D model for this aircraft. I'm very happy with the 3D model. So speaking of flight mechanics of this aircraft, it feels quite similar in quite stages of the flight, but in some stages of the flight it feels quite underpowered. But in general, what I notice is flight performance is quite similar to the real flying experience, especially when coming towards landing. What happens with this aircraft when coming towards landing is that at the end, after you round out, the aircraft still wants to glide for quite a few seconds before it wants to touch down. If you would have seen my landing videos in the past, you would have noticed that I tend to glide for quite a few seconds just above the ground until I hear the stall warning, and then you would experience a touchdown. It is quite a similar experience when trying to land this aircraft in the sim, which I'm actually very happy with. There are some things I tested, like stalls and steep turns. One thing I was quite impressed by is the spin recovery. That is also very similar to the real aircraft, but of course I don't want anybody to try to learn how to fly from the sim. I'm gonna just take off here, and I'm gonna show you spin recovery in this aircraft, and then you can go back and watch the video of my real life spin recovery which may seem similar. One complaint I have: when coming to land, the stall warning comes up very late, so late that you don't wanna hold off for that long when flying the aircraft. So maybe if they adjust the stall warning for this aircraft, it would make things a lot better. And right now I'm not following the real procedures. At this point I should have the fuel pump and landing and taxi lights on, but this is just to show you guys how the aircraft flies. Another thing I noticed is that once you're full throttle, the RPM does go above 2500, but it might be different with different engines, so maybe the performance parameters they got was from a different engine. That's why it's not exactly the same, but the aircraft that I fly, the RPM goes about 2700 when you go full throttle. Anyways, I'm gonna go idle throttle here. I'm gonna try to maintain altitude, and as soon as I'm about to stall, I'm gonna yank the throttle. I'm gonna give full left rudder and pull the stick to initiate a spin, and then I'm gonna recover from it, and let's see what happens. You know what? I'm actually gonna record this. I mean, record this in the sense that I'm gonna use a replay tool so that we can watch the spin recovery from an external view. So right now I'm at an idle throttle and the plane speed drops really slowly. That's because of the high aspect ratio of the wing, which is an excellent design feature of this aircraft. Alright, I'm going to try to maintain altitude. I already lost about 100 feet, which is not good on my part. So speed is dropping, and there's a stall warning. Left rudder, full stick. So now we are stalling, and to recover, use rudder and pull on the stick. And that's how you recover from a spin. Just a reminder, guys, I am not a certified flight instructor. Please do not learn how to fly from my videos. I hope that's apparent. Okay, so we have recovered from the stall and we climb back to safe altitude. So this is what I'm talking about. At this point, the speed would be about 75 knots in the real aircraft, but right now the speed is hovering at 60 knots, which it feels quite underpowered. Because when I fly, I'm flying with a passenger or instructor with full fuel tanks, and the performance is still not that low. So maybe it's just a little performance parameters that can easily be adjusted. So as you see, as the speed decreases, the angle of attack increases until I hear stall warning, and then full yaw, and there we go. Now we're into spin, full right rudder, and recover. That looks so beautiful from the outside. And now we're climbing back to recover altitude. I've done quite a few nav flights and circuits with this aircraft on the same airfield that I would do in real life, and I noticed that a lot is similar to the real flying experience that I had with this aircraft. And I am just so glad that this aircraft, somebody actually made the exact same version of this aircraft for Microsoft Flight Simulator, and I think they've done quite a decent job with most of the things. So for flight mechanics, I would actually give this aircraft 7 out of 10, and the score where this aircraft loses is with regards to the performance and the stall warning. And I think these are the things that can be adjusted easily. Maybe in the future update these things might be fixed, but for now it is what it is. Alright guys, now we're going to talk about the sound. So what I'm going to do is cold start this aircraft, and you listen to all the sounds, and then you compare those sounds to the ones that when I start the aircraft in real life. I'll have the link in the description, and then you can judge whether or not the score that I give to this aircraft is justified or not. So I'm going to start the cold start. I'm not going to use a checklist, so my sequence might not be perfect. Okay, let's see if I remember the checklist correctly. So throttle full prime, mixer full rich, magneto set to both, and position lights on, and battery on, fuel pump on, So I hear this sound. This is almost the same sound you hear in the real aircraft as well. Parking brakes on. So fuel prime for a few seconds depending on whether the engine is warm or cold. So you just hold the button. In real life you flip the switch, but in this case they have made it to hold the button. So throttle 1/4, clear prop, and let's ignition. And throttle back to 1200. Set mixture setting for taxi. Taxi lights on, avionics on. So this is how the aircraft sounds like in the sim, and now if you want you can compare it to the sounds in real life. Yeah, so what happened is that I started the aircraft without removing these things. I didn't know they were there. To be honest, I don't know how to remove these things. I haven't read the manual. If anybody knows how to remove these things, please let me know in the comments below. These pitot covers and this engine cover, how to remove them, please let me know in the comments below. And yeah, so with regards to sound, I would give it 5 out of 10. I'm sorry. This is the max score I can give this aircraft with regards to sound. I feel like the engine sound is not that great. The button switching is not that great. There are some things that do resemble the real aircraft, but overall I'm not that happy with regards to the sound of this aircraft. But to be honest, for me it doesn't really matter much, because I'm going to use this aircraft for just practicing my procedures and have somewhat similar experience to the real life aircraft. For that, this aircraft is good enough. So I think it's about 15 euros. I'm gonna have to check the price. I'm gonna have it on the screen anyway. So I think for somebody who wants to fly this exact same aircraft, I don't think you're gonna find it anywhere better than this. So this is the best that there is so far for Microsoft Flight Simulator. So this is my review of this aircraft, guys. I hope I was not that harsh to the developers. To be honest, what I have to offer to the developers is, if they want, they can just send me an email and we can I'll give them high quality sounds of this real aircraft for free. I would be happy to help to make this aircraft even better than how good it already is, and I would be happy to help with the development of this aircraft, further development of this aircraft. But so far this aircraft is still really great and I absolutely love it, and I would have definitely bought it if they didn't send me for free. Well, that's it for me, guys. As always, thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Buddy Spike out.